Recording in progress.
Really thick hair.
I think we need a picture
All
for
right,
proof
good
of
evening
that.
and welcome
No
to
way.
the Chaska City Council meeting for Monday, December 15th. I call this meeting to order at 7 o'clock. Would everyone please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, Elise, will you please call roll?
Councilmember Hatfield.
Here.
Councilmember Benish. Councilmember Shevlin.
Here.
Councilmember Grah.
Here.
Mayor Hubbard.
Here. All right, so that moves us along to the adoption of the agenda. Does anybody have any additions or corrections on the agenda? Otherwise, I'd entertain a motion for adoption.
Motion to adopt.
All right, I have a motion from Councilmember Shevlin
Second.
and a second from Councilmember Hatfield. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Agenda is adopted. All right, that moves us along to visitor presentation. Is anybody here for a visitor presentation, something that's not on the agenda? I don't see anybody moving up towards the podium, so we are going to move on to approval of the previous meeting minutes. These meeting minutes were from December 1st of 2025. Does anybody have any addition or correction to the minutes?
Motion to approve the minutes.
All right, and I have a motion from Councilmember Hatfield
Second.
and a second from Councilmember Grah. Any discussion? Otherwise, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Our minutes are approved, and then this moves us along to a lot of consent items. My goodness, you guys were busy this week. Does anybody have any addition, or these items are items that receive little to no discussion, although anything can be pulled off of the consent agenda to be discussed at more length, or does anybody have any questions at all or comments? I had just a couple of things. 7E, the feasibility study, I just wanted to say thank you. That was like the downtown with the 3rd Street. I
Yep.
know that was kind of stemming maybe off of the discussion.
Oak Street and
Oak Street.
Oak Street and 3rd Street. Is that it, Matt? Yeah.
He's shaking his head,
Yeah.
yes.
Oak Street going this way, 3rd Street Elm Street.
Or Elm,
Street
yeah.
going this way.
I was so confused.
3rd Street.
I was like Elm, and it's definitely Elm and Third.
Yeah, it's Elm and 3rd. The reason we haven't done that project up to this point is because we have to replace a bridge. And if the bridge was failing, we'd get state dollars to do that.
Yeah.
So we thought if we waited it out, that the bridge might fail, and the bridge is really built well. So,
Which is a good thing.
one,
Yeah.
one bridge or two bridges?
it's just one now, right? Yeah, we had taken out, stuff further to the west of that.
Okay.
But we're gonna do exactly the same thing that we did sort of in that Spruce and Locust area where we put the pipe
Okay,
underground,
yeah.
to cover up the ditch.
Yeah, and I, there were residents that when I campaign and went through that area, had a lot of questions of that, and then more recently, one of the residents was really like, when is this gonna happen? And so I just wanted to give thanks to this, for staff, for you guys going out and kind of making it happen at this point. So it was nice to see that on the consent agenda.
With 3rd Street, I know that part closer to 41, so between 41 and Pine, that block gets a lot of questions, and I know we're waiting for City Square West. The block on that, like the literal, what are they called? That you step up? Curb. That's the word.
Yeah.
The literal, like the curb on that south side of 3rd Street is so high. Like you have to like really step up to go, like it goes like this. Is there a point that we just like fix that part, but instead of waiting for City
Well,
Square
it's,
West?
I mean, the purpose of it is that was our stormwater system.
Okay.
And so until we actually get the stormwater installed in there, we really
Like,
can't lose it.
It's not just like cosmetic, it's
No,
like literally doing
it
the
literally
job.
is to handle the stormwater.
Okay, that helps.
Well, it doesn't help, but it
No, it
explains it.
doesn't help, but it explains
Explains,
it, yes.
Also, I just, on 7F, the appointment of a planning commission chair and vice chair for 2026. Planning commission member Rob Brass, our chair, he had called me maybe about a month ago or so and had kind of given me the heads up that he was planning to be done at the end of the year. And so I didn't want to let the cat out of the bag early until it was that time, but now seeing it on the agenda, just wanted to really thank Rob for his time and energy and effort. And the planning commission is a really integral part of what we do here as a council. They are kind of that first line of, approval, and a lot of times, they oftentimes maybe get the residents at their most engaged and emotion. And so, really thanking his time and energy into kind of giving it its all. So just wanted to say that. And looking forward to seeing what Commission Chair Urbaniak has going forward, so. And then 7G, just very excited. Approval of the MSB, final approval, so yay. Anyways.
Yeah, yeah, we'll, the next action step you'll see us come back with, I don't know if we'll bring the bid pack to have that approved or not in January. I can't remember what we did with the Public Safety Center, but for sure, by the beginning of March, you'll see the bid responses come back, and hopefully they're within budget and we can keep on moving forward in the right direction. So we've had RJM doing cost estimates throughout the entire process, and Elise and I had a chance, it was about 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, to sit down with both Ortel and RJM and really do some I forget the name of the term now. Well, we looked at areas where we could do things differently to save on costs. And value engineering, that's what I meant to say. So looking at sort of value engineering some areas that really don't have an impact on the look or the functionality of the building, but how we do certain things, especially when you have a prefab building like that, where you put things makes a difference, because it can make a difference between whether something's really easy to fabricate or whether it's hard to. So we did that, and I think it was close to $900,000 that we were able to take out of the cost of the estimate by doing that, and still really keep it, everything that we've talked about within the building. So big kudos to both Ortel and RJM for really taking the time to do that, because that obviously makes a big difference as we go forward.
Big number. Great, thanks, guys. Does anybody else have any sort of, any questions or comments at all in regards to consent items? Otherwise, I'd entertain a motion for approval.
Motion to approve consent.
All right, we have a motion from Councilmember Hatfield.
Second.
And a second from Councilmember Shevlin. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, consent approved. That moves us along to our action items of the night. So the first action item is 8A, which is a memorandum of understanding with Trident Development LLC for City Square West project.
Mayor and council members, this is really dealing with the City Square West site and developer we've talked with you about moving forward on the project. I'm going to let Elise sort of talk about the memorandum of understanding we've worked on with the developer to sort of dictate sort of how we'll move forward with actually implementing that. So turn over to Elise.
Sure, Mayor and council members, as you know, we talked about this in a work session a couple months ago approximately. And at that time, we were just coming out of kind of, in 2020, you had agreed to work with inland development partners as part of developing a concept, potentially redeveloping the site. At that time that we had the work session, we decided to part ways mutually on both sides with that developer. Trident Development had submitted a proposal as part of that RFP back in 2020, so we reached out to Trident to see if they were still interested, and they were. So we've been working with them to develop a memorandum of understanding so that we're all clear on roles and responsibilities, because there's a lot on that site, as you know. A private side to it, a public side to it, lots of different sources of financing going into it. And as we continue this process, if it's deemed feasible, you'll see more formal development agreements and that sort of thing come forward. But for this time, this allows us to kick off that process. So that MOU that you have in your council packet tonight really has 3 phases to it. The first one is just a kind of a evaluation and concept phase. It allows both parties to continue to look at the site, take a look at various concepts, look at those preliminary cost estimates, the financial feasibility, that sort of thing. As part of that process, you would see a concept plan, if it's deemed feasible, come back to you all, like as part of our normal planning process that we go through. If that is all feasible, we would move forward into really that kind of pre-development phase where we continue working through the different planning phases, preliminary and final. We'd work through additional financing such as TIF or other sources of funds that we're able to obtain. And then you would see those assistant packages and whatnot come forward all together, like you would any other kind of private development that comes through the city. Once that is done and reviewed, and again, we take the time to review for feasibility. If it's feasible, once that pre-development phase is done, then we will move on to the development phase. And that time, that's when we look at acquisition of properties, demolition, and ultimately construction. Mm-hmm. So as we've kind of looked at it, Trident has done a lot of work in Chaska with multifamily projects, and so we feel very comfortable moving forward as staff with them. Roger Fink is here from Trident and would be happy to say a few words this evening about, you know, kind of what he's thinking and the opportunity to get in front of you. Some of you have seen Roger and Trident's work here recently, most recently up across from Hazeltine in that development with the apartment in the Kohl's parking lot. So with that, we would ask for a motion to approve that memorandum of understanding. It is between the city, the Economic Development Authority, so you'll see it at your EDA meeting again tonight, and then Trident Development.
Exciting.
Yeah. Roger, would you like to come up and say a few words?
Oh, would I ever? Well, thank you, Mayor Hubbard, members of the council. Roger Fink with Trident Development. First of all, thank you for putting me first on the agenda.
You don't want to hear all the text.
You don't want to talk about budget and tax
That's the
levy?
first thing I look for. Where am I on the agenda? Second, I want to thank city staff for all their confidence and dedication, hard work over the months putting this agreement together. When Nate and Elise first reached out, it was like, yes, we're interested. But we need a roadmap. We need something in writing to understand and kind of secure our exclusivity in this project in order to spend some money on it and bring a team together. So thank you for all of that. It's really a privilege, of course, and to be considered for this project, and we think we'll do a really good job. We have an excellent team of consultants standing by, ready to bring something forward. And I think it would really create something special for Chaska, and we're looking forward to being a partner with the city for that. There's a term, we're ready to hit the ground running, but actually we're already on the ground and we're already running. We've got concepts that we're already sharing among our team, putting some cost estimates together, and hopefully be able to unveil that at the next meeting with city staff. So with that, I think those were my remarks. Yeah. Again, it's a real privilege and honor to be considered for this. So hopefully we'll go forward. Any questions you have for me?
We were excited to see you when we heard about it from Elise a couple months ago.
Thank you.
Because the other buildings have been really well done and a lot of thought put into it. And
Thank
so
you.
we were excited to hear your name, and it's
Yep.
nice to.
Many of the same team members will be involved with this project as were the Plaza at Hazeltine.
Okay.
One other team member that we have a relationship with but weren't part of our team when we made our original proposal is a commercial retail developer owner. So we felt that it was really important to bring that in as part of our entourage, and they're very excited about coming forward with this idea as well. So, yeah.
Yeah, City Square West is like such an important piece of our downtown, and I think that's part of why we were so excited to hear your name come up for it, and just your understanding of the community and how thoughtful, and even thinking about the plaza, really how, when we gave feedback or we mentioned things, even if it was like a quick mention, you obviously like put that to thought, and when it came back, we saw that put into action and put onto paper and said, yeah, that was really good feedback, or we thought more about that, we liked that, whatever it was. And it was, you don't always see that, especially having set up here for 7 years now. There has absolutely been times where we said something to a developer and they came back and I was like, were we at the same meeting? And that was never the case with you, so I really appreciate that. And when I think about how important City Square West is, having a relationship like we have with you and your understanding of the community is so imperative for such an important block. So I'm just grateful and excited to see this, so.
Thank you. Those are very kind words. I appreciate that very much.
Yeah, I mean, I echo Councilmember Hatfield and Councilmember Chevlin's statements. It is exciting to cultivate that and continue that relationship, knowing our past history and the work that's been done. And yeah, seeing the reflection of the Hazeltine Plaza apartment and just the care and consideration that went into it. Every time I'm up in that area, it is really, really nicely done. And I know it was one of those sites where at the time we were really grappling with the idea of changing and pivoting from the decision of this was supposed to be, commercial, and now we're going to make it residential. But it blends really well into the landscape up there, and then kind of those added elements that we were wanting to make sure were important. They're part of that. So City Square West is a key catalyst site for the redevelopment of downtown to kind of, I think, in my opinion, tie everything with a pretty red bow, right? You're going to have a plaza for programming, and housing that's both market and affordable, and also commercial and the Mercado and parking. I mean, all of those sort of elements. And it's nice to hear that you guys have already brought on somebody onto your team that's going to be having that vision for the commercial side of things, because I think that that's a key and important element as well. So I am excited, working really diligently hard to kind of help close the loop on the legislative funding part of it. So hopefully we can kind of check that box off as well. But it's really nice to have you guys be on, making the plans happen. My one question is, so it sounds like they're going to be coming back to you with a plan in no time for what they, well, when do we get to see that plan?
Well, it's gonna, there's gonna be sort of two processes happening at the same time. One is gonna be more of that sort of internal process where we're trying to economically make the project work, and that's probably where we're gonna start. I would imagine that we probably would not bring back like a formal planning concept plan until we have more things secured.
Sure.
And have a developer's agreement, and we certainly can, but with that being said, I do think that at some point in between that, we'll probably want to have a work session to bring the council together and sort of show what Roger's putting together, to make sure everybody's sort of shaking their head in the same direction and giving good feedback in that
Makes sense.
process.
Yeah.
That
very
sounds
good.
wonderful.
Well, again, thank you all very much. You'll probably be seeing a lot more of me in the future, so.
I'm
looking forward to it.
Not mind that.
I will say the best compliment that he received, he doesn't even know he received it. When I was up at Hazeltine and they were showing me the villas that they had put up there, they were talking about how nice the apartment building looked as they over the villas onto there. And I gotta say, in the past, they maybe haven't liked our development quite as much, and so it was sort of cool to to have them say, hey, this really enhanced this corner here. It made it better for the community, great service. We think it looks great here. So I mean, I thought that was a really nice
Yeah,
compliment.
happy to hear
for
that,
them.
Matt. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
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 I was gonna say, I have a friend that lives on Birdie Lane, which is, if you keep going down that road, like there's 4 or 5 houses. It's a small little block between Hazeltine and the lake. And they were saying that they really loved your building when it went up because it blocked them from the
Oh,
lights of
from the retail, right?
Yeah, the
Transition.
retail or whatever you wanna call it. So, but they had nothing but good things to say about,
Oh, good.
the development, the way it went in, the way it was constructed. And so you've got nothing but rave reviews from,
Thank you.
the people that have lived by it.
We've set the bar very high here tonight, so
Yep.
try not to disappoint. So,
Oh, you'll be great, so.
Oh, we're excited.
if there's nothing else, I'll move along.
All right,
Thank
thank
you.
you so much.
Thank you all very much.
All right, so with that, I think we have council action. Motion to approve the memorandum of understanding with Trident Development LLC and the Chaska Economic Development Authority, and authorize the mayor and city administrators to execute the MOU. So, do I have a motion?
So moved.
All right, motion from Councilmember Grau,
Second.
and a second from Councilmember Hatfield. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye. Opposed? All right, motion approved. Thank you.
Roger.
All right, that moves us along to action item 8B, which is the 2026 tax levy and fund budgets.
Mayor and council members, I figured I'd give the exact same presentation again for the 6th time. No,
Yeah, let's
No,
preface this that we have seen this
We've seen this a
presentation
lot, yeah.
numerous times.
Yeah, so I'm just going to hit some of the highlights in here. First of all, from a market value perspective in the community, we saw a 7.51% increase. One of the interesting things is that more than half of that came from new growth in the community. So 4.1% of that came from new growth, and 3.4% came from increases in values to existing properties. So having more of that new growth, even though we're obviously in the 4th year of dealing with our building program, does help to keep the impact lower than it would have been without having new growth in the community. So as far as the key budget items, there was really 3 items that we were dealing with this year. One of them is just our continued use of our tax levy policy for dealing with our operations. Second one was continued the implementation of our camp program, so the dollars we put towards rehabbing things within the community. And then the last thing is the completing the 4th out of 4 years for our building program to increase the levy to be able to support the buildings that are going forward. As far as the first one, establishing based on our tax levy, so we base our operational tax levy in our policy based on new growth, which I had mentioned is 4.10%, and then on inflation, which is 3.44%. So those are really sort of the 2 things that impact our cost of being able to provide service. So that, if we looked at that just in and of itself, it'd be a 7.54% increase, which for the median value home in the community, which is a little over $400,000, would be $7.08 per month. The second one really doesn't add any increase onto our tax levy, but it's a focus that we've had as our capital asset maintenance program. And that's where we take and put $1 million aside each year to deal with things like overlays, replacing playgrounds, replacing trail surfaces, all those types of things that we need to do to maintain those assets that we have. So we have 2 projects next year that are under the CAMP program. One is the overlay of Bavaria Road from Victoria border all the way down to the railroad tracks to the south, basically Pioneer Trail. That is a $1.4 million project, so we are going over the $1 million this year, but that means that we're going under the $1 million next year to make up for it. We really did not want to split that project in half. We wanted to get it done all at once. And then we kept the trail resurfacing. We do 3 miles each year. We have about 75 miles of trails. And so if we keep sort of on that schedule, then every about 20 years, every trail surface gets redone, which keeps it in pretty decent condition. The one thing with the CAMP program that we did change this year, we started the CAMP program, or fully funded it in 2017. We've never increased it beyond that $1 million, so now we've sort of built in where we increase it by inflation each year to make sure that we're keeping up with those costs. And then the building improvement program is the third thing. Obviously, we're 2 weeks away from being done with the Public Safety Center, so we're very close there. The municipal service building, obviously, we just had the final approvals for that tonight, and we'll be moving forward next summer with that. Then we have the library and then City Hall as well. So to fund that program, we in essence needed to be able to increase our levy by $1.125 million each year for 4 years. And it got up to that, along with our utility contributions, gives us about $6.8 million each year to go towards debt service on all those projects. So that gives us enough to fund that. And now taking this last step allows us to move forward, complete the MSB. We'll move forward with construction of the library planned for 2028, and then 2030 is when we would do the remodel of City Hall, with the exception of the plaza out in front, that we'll pull that piece out of it. We're always going to do it, but we'll pull that piece out first because just safety issues with that plaza and keeping it usable. One thing to note with the impact of the building program, so when we started this program back in 2023, we estimated for the medium value home that by the time we fully implement it in 2026, that they'd have a cost of $9 per month additional, or $9. I put this down wrong. $34 per month extra. When we are going to be finishing this here, the actual impact is going to be $30.50 per month. So that came down about $4 per month from what we had estimated originally when we started in 2023, and it really had to do with the new growth that we saw in the community, which we anticipated when we started the program, but did not want to promise things we couldn't deliver. So didn't really build that into the program. Just some additional things to point out as far as things above and beyond sort of what we normally would see in the budget. So for this year, we are going to be producing and mailing 6 editions of the Chaska Today, which we're starting up again. We also are going to be working with a new website provider this year. We have a compensation study that we're finishing up now, and so we budgeted dollars to be able to address any discrepancies in salaries that we're seeing. Some other ones, addition of a management analyst position starting July 1st to really sort of help with engineering, community development, and administration with sort of the higher level type projects in there. 2 things in the police department. We have our officer number 32, so that'd be the next officer based on sort of where we are in growth. That would start July 1st, and on July 1st, we also have budgeted for a co-responder / social worker that would be part of the department. I would say probably the most significant impact with the budget this year is going to be going to the 24/7 duty crews with the fire department, with the new fire station opening up and having living quarters in there to be able to handle overnight duty crews. We've talked about before that significantly decreases the amount of time that it takes for people to get to an incident, which especially in medicals and in fires can be very significant. The rest of it, just some smaller items that are just not super significant in nature. Those are really sort of the bigger ones. As far as the total budget for 2026, it is $36,430,050, which is a 13.1% increase, with about half of that increase coming from the building program and implementing that last phase. The impact to residents to that median value home in 2025, the median value home would have paid $1,533 for the year. In 2025, they would pay $1,705, which is an increase of $14.33 per month, or $172 for the year. So about half of that, $85 of that $172, comes from our baseline programs, and then $87 that goes to our building program. So it's about split right in half. Where that puts us as far as tax levy per capita in the Twin Cities, it puts us at 53 out of 84 cities. So we be at the 63% of the cities are higher tax levy per capita than we are. And we have sort of looked forward to next year, knowing the state actually put out the proposed levies for other cities. And we're going to end up actually pretty close to that, probably right around 50. When we look next year at this time, and then with that building program being done and then new growth happening, we should see ourselves just go right back up that list again. As far as the enterprise fund budgets, we've talked about really some of the things that we're doing in different facilities. So the community center, obviously we continue to try to maintain that as best as we can, build back up revenues, working to build up back memberships after COVID. We have some capital improvements that we need to do next year. We have a rooftop HVAC unit that we need to replace in the lodge. We also are going to be replacing all of the carpeting on that main floor of the facility, so that should look very nice. Replace the indoor pool deck furniture, so people, especially with swimming lessons, use that quite a bit when they're down there. And then we'll have painting that happens both in the pool and in the gym area. Next one I'll talk about is the town course. So the town course continues, well, we continue to work towards trying to balance our resident versus non-resident rates. If you remember, several years back, we talked about getting to a point where we'd have 20% discount for weekend rates for resident and a 25% discount for weekday rates. Next year, with where our rates are proposed to be set, we would be at a 21% discount for the weekdays. We're only 1% off. We're almost there for that one. And we'd still be at a 29% discount for weekday rates. So we have a little bit of work to do still with that. But we continue to be very competitive when you look at the average, especially with the courses we're competitive both with the high-end courses that are out there, but also the courses that are around the area too, which I think is really cool for especially our residents to be able to have that high of quality of a facility and, you know, be able to pay the rates they do. Just to give you a sense, so for a weekend, 18-hole with a golf cart, the average for a high-end course is $120 for a round in a golf cart. Our residents would pay $68 to golf on a weekend, and they'd pay, if they were a non-resident, they'd pay $86. And so quite a bit difference there. But even as you look at the area courses, so, you know, sort of like the ones like Deer Run, Dahlgreen, Bluff Creek, courses that aren't a high caliber of ours, but they're choices people have in the area. Our residents will end up paying $68 for a round on the weekend with a cart. If they were to go and look at the average of those area courses, it's $67. So it's pretty much right on, even with courses that are around the area. As far as the major things in the town course for next year, we have just continual work on our irrigation system. You know, our course will be 30 years old coming up in 1 year, after next year. So there's work that we have to do in that. So we have some irrigation satellites we need to do work on. We are going to pave the other half of the parking lot at the town course, and then work on the garbage enclosure. No pun intended, it's starting to look sort of trashy. So, but yeah, I need the rim shot. No.
Wasn't there something a couple of weeks ago too about the 18th hole or the land around it?
Oh, like the swampy area?
Oh, yeah. So that's in our stormwater fund.
Different budget.
Yep.
Okay.
But basically, all the cattails that are out there.
Yeah.
So there's going to be a project to really sort of maintain that properly. But that's in our stormwater fund. Yep. Our Curling and Event Center, we continue to have very strong memberships there. We actually saw an increase in membership last year compared to the year before. We really hope, you know, we tend to see the Olympic years are good, and this year being an Olympic year and the Olympic team is from our club, we're really hoping that really plays strong here. So planning for that. Our event center has continued to do very well. You know, all the real prime times, we really don't have an issue with being able to fill those times. As far as the capital improvements that we have for the Curling and Event Center, so the carpet will be replaced in the event center in the hallway.
Are you gonna rip that out yourself?
I will. I'll come help.
I know people love the pink bubbles. Yeah, it's.
Nobody, not a single person.
No. So we'll be replacing that. At the same time, we're going to be replacing the chairs too. And the chairs, I think we showed you this, that they're going to have sort of the wood back to them.
Yeah.
So it's going to match the wood in the actual facility itself. So that, you know, especially, I mean, our whole goal with that place was to have a high-end event center, but without the high-end costs, so their average resident would be able to have a really good experience within there. So I think we're really accomplishing that well.
Not that it matters a lot for this, but those chairs are actually still pretty decent there. Are we putting them somewhere else in another community building?
A lot of times we'll sell those on auction.
Okay.
Like the state will take them on auction, things like that.
Okay.
Yep. We have some things we have to do in the curling center itself. So we have a carpet extractor replacement we need to do. We need to do reconditioning of our curling stones. So there's stuff to make sure that they stay in good condition. And the rest is just general maintenance type of stuff that's in there. The big one is the carpet and the chairs. That's the curling center. The loop, Great thing with the loop, we saw about 25,000 rounds last year. The last time we saw 25,000 rounds out there was probably 2002, 2003. We've been pretty consistently at about, the last couple of years of the par 30, we were at about 14 to 15,000 rounds. So we've increased rounds by about 10,000 people since that's opened up. We're planning for about 3,000 rounds at the Menolayas and still trying to work on looking at how we can program that and be more than just a passive thing, but something that we could have some leagues or something like that that's out there. We're proposing that rates stay the same because we still want to get this introduced to people out there. And it's new, so we don't really have any planned improvements for the facility itself. As far as our utility funds, when you look at when somebody looks at their utility bill coming from the city, they have electric, water, sewer, and stormwater on there. People will see, for the average user of utilities, people will see a 4.87% increase, which equates to about $9.82 per month. And that's really keeping up with a lot of the capital improvement, or I should say expansion items that we need to do in capital improvement items within our system. Our electric department has about $4.1 million of work that they need to do next year, which is anything from getting developments prepared and ready to come in, all the way to putting overhead lines to underground because it makes it more reliable and safer, doing things like extending our feeder system up Victoria Drive so that we can have redundant feeds coming up to different substations. So a lot of work. That's probably the most sort of capital improvement work we've had in the electric fund for quite some time. As far as the stormwater fund, the one was the town course project. We have dollars that we put towards our street reconstruction program. We have a pump that we need to replace down on one of our outlets that goes out of the flood control system. We have a over $1 million project that we're only spending $85,000 for. That's the one that's over at Seminary Fen that we were talking about a few weeks ago. So we have that budgeted in there. And then just some general updates in our stormwater system that we'll be doing next year. So there's a number of different actions that you guys have to take tonight, and they're sort of laid out. One is establishing the tax levy. There's going to be, when we showed you the impact of taxes on a user in the community, we included all the levies together. But we have to physically approve the general fund tax levy separate from the EDA tax levy, which you'll do after the meeting. Included in that, we're establishing our tax abatement levy. Now these are projects that basically, sort of like with tax increment, we use increased taxes to support the development. So they end up being almost more of a pass-through for the city than a real impact to people. But then we also have to adopt the actual budget itself. So we have basically for this item, we have the resolution 2025-90, which would adopt the levy, and then resolution 25-91, which would adopt each of the fund budgets. Certainly answer any questions if you have any.
Do we have any questions for Matt? Like mentioned before, I mean, this is something that we've started this budget talk, back in June?
June.
Yeah, June, so, we've been discussing this for quite a while. And also, I mean, obviously, we've got 2 new council members this year that kind of got introduced into it. But, the building program being a large part of our tax levy, we've been talking about that for multiple years as well. So, not that it's not important to continually recap and discuss and talk over things, but we're not just breezing through this.
Well, I think it's not something any of us took lightly. I mean, anytime, we talked about this last time, but anytime you have to raise a cost of anything, especially in an economy like today, it's not something we take lightly. It's not an easy thing to do. But looking at what we're getting out of it, the return for the city, for the, public safety duty crews to be on, all the things that make this city better, it's, I don't think it's a terrible increase. It's not a ton. We just voted yes for the schools for a lot more, and again, very important too, but I think that the city has been, from what I can see this year, really managing the budget well, really balancing priorities, and really looking out for the needs of the people that live here as well as the infrastructure of what they call home. So I've been really happy to see the care and concern that's taken place since a year ago when I came here to say that my taxes were too high.
Well, I think too, even though this is being a formal action that's being taken up tonight, anytime anybody in our community has a question over our budget or any sort of, item that is of concern or things, I think it's always welcomed opportunity to have a discussion, to kind of talk about where the money is going and what does it provide. And I think, we set our budget to make sure that the services and amenities that our community members desire and expect are being well cared for and run efficiently and effectively so that they don't have to worry about that. And I think that's always just the messaging that I like to kind of carry forward when it comes to this, even though I know that there is a financial cost to that.
Absolutely.
So.
And I think you guys, you city staff I'm talking about, have done a fantastic job with ensuring, that we have, for a very small city actually, a lot of amenities, the town course, the loop, the communities, it just goes on. And so, you think of bigger cities around us like Eden Prairie and things like that, they've got a lot, but they really don't have any more than we do. So it's really amazing to see a smaller city doing.
I mean, that really goes back to the city councils in the 80s, that really made a decision at that point that they wanted to be a place where people could call home, be a place that people had the services that kept them in the community and didn't, have people go out.
But you've managed that really well. And like I said, even like the new parks and the trails overlays and just keeping all of that stuff that one time was new, up to date is a big feat, I think.
Yeah, as I look at it, I think one of the most important things that we do is take care of the things that were basically passed down to us. That, really, hopefully when we're all gone, that we've left for somebody else something really good, a community that's in a really good shape.
That is always the goal.
I'd make agree. I'm ready for a motion. I'm ready to wait and.
Go for it. Make a
Okay,
motion.
yeah, make a motion.
Sorry.
Do
good
it.
job. I would make a motion to adopt resolution 2025-9, property tax levies for payable 2020-26.
All right, we have a motion from Councilmember Grau
Second.
and a second from Councilmember Shevlin. Any other discussion? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries. And then we have a second motion to adopt resolution 2025-91, adopting the 2026 fund budgets.
So moved.
All right, we have a motion from Councilmember Hatfield
Second.
and a second from Councilmember Grau. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, that motion carries as well. All right. That moves us along to 8C, establish the 2026 utility rates.
Mayor and council members, this is really an extension of what we just talked about. So obviously, we just adopted the budgets for all of the funds, including our utility funds. And in order to meet our revenue projections that are in there, we need to change our rates to reflect that. You'll see in the staff report, Noel did a good job of sort of laying out, you know, what the percent increase is being proposed in each of the utilities, and then what that totals out to what we talked about before, of being a 4.87% increase, or $9.82 for the average customer that's out there. You know, the things that I will point out is, you know, from a rate perspective, we are a little over 8% lower than Excel for our residential rates last year, that's sort of our market that we set, compare ourselves. Water, we are really amongst the lowest costs for water that's out there. Sewer, we're about the same as everybody else, because all of us have the same sort of input cost of having to use the Met Council for our treatment, which does keep our costs down, but it means that our costs are pretty similar from city to city. And then our stormwater fee is one that we're below average now compared to other cities that are similarly situated with things like rivers, lakes, things that you have to deal a lot more with stormwater issues than you do in other areas. I mentioned previously, you know, we have a lot of different projects that we're going to be working on over the next year. We talked about, you know, the stormwater projects, and we said that we have about $4.1 million of electric projects, but probably the one that we're going to have the most work on is going to be our water utility, because we will be starting after the KPMG event up at Hazeltine next last week of June. July 1st is when we're targeting to start the second water treatment plant facility up there, and then there is wells that we have to dig to go towards that. So that the water utility is probably going to be, it's going to be our biggest focus as far as you know, work that we're going to be doing in that. And there's going to be some financing that we're going to have to come back with during the course of the year, and we're already sort of looking at how do we best sort of structure that as we move through the year, both for our municipal service building, but also for our utility projects that we'll end up doing as well. There are a number of different motions. The way we have our rates sort of set up in our ordinances, we need to both adopt an ordinance, but also a resolution to pass that. So there's 1, 2, 3, 5 different actions.
Yeah, we're gonna be in it for the long haul.
Yeah,
People.
so unless you have any other questions. Yeah.
I just have one question,
Yep.
kind of towards the bottom of the RFA. It talks about 2025 city comparison, and it kind of arrows us in. Are the rates of the other cities that are on this chart? I'm assuming that's not their
That's
2026 rates, that's their
No,
current.
that's their 2025 rate. That 1329 is our proposed.
Yeah, so basically,
2026 rate.
it could be adjusted to be
Yeah, so
different on this
I would
chart.
imagine we're probably gonna be right in the middle.
Yeah, I just was curious
Yep.
if these were updated numbers. I kind of figured they weren't. Okay. Anybody else have any other questions? All right, well, should we get this going here? All right,
Motion to approve and adopt ordinance 2025-1075, establishing 2026 utility rates.
all right, we have a motion from Councilmember Shevlin,
Second.
and a second from Councilmember Hatfield. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, that motion carries.
Make a motion to adopt resolution 2025-86, summary publication of the 2026 electrical utility rates.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion from Councilmember Grah and a second from Councilmember Hatfield. I'm sorry, I thought that was the one we had just done, so.
That was the ordinance.
That was the ordinance. Now, this is the summary of the ordinance.
Okay,
Yep.
got it. All right, sorry, I lost my place in the chart here. All right, any discussion? All right, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, that motion carries. All right, I make a motion to adopt ordinance number 2025-1076, establishing the 2026 water and sewer utility rates.
Second?
All right, so we have a motion from Mayor Hubbard and a second from Councilmember Shevlin. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All right, and then
Wait, now I don't know which one we're on.
We're on the,
It's your
We're on
turn.
the fourth one.
we're on the
We're
fourth one.
following a pattern here, you gotta continue now.
The-
Okay, I make a
Summary
motion to
of ten
adopt.
seventy-six.
Wait.
Resolution
Okay,
87.
adopt resolution, I make a motion to adopt resolution 2025-87, summary publication of 2026 water and sewer utility rates.
Okay, all right, I have a motion from Councilmember Hatfield and a second from Councilmember Shevlin. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, that motion carries.
I'll make a motion to adopt resolution 2025-88, establishing 2026 stormwater utility rates.
And I'll second that. And so we have a motion from Councilmember Hatfield and a second from Mayor Hubbard. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, that is adopted as well. We got through that together. We all shared the lift, so great job. All right, so that takes us away from our action items and that moves us along to the bills. Does anybody have a question on a bill as we transition here? Otherwise, I'd entertain a motion.
Motion to pay bills.
All right, we have a motion from Councilmember Shevlin
Second.
and a second from Councilmember Grau. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Hatfield,
Yes.
Councilmember Shevlin,
Yes.
Councilmember McGrath,
Aye.
Mayor Hubbard.
Aye. All right, bills are done, and then that moves us over to other business. So, Councilmember Grau, take it away.
I lost my train of thought on here. Lots of good things. I had a list here. I was gonna go off to Matt does all the good work for us here. Then I backed out of it.
You got busted not doing your homework, huh?
Well, no, I backed out of the meeting
Oh.
all of a sudden. All of a sudden, I was in the piece of it. A couple things I'll just mention though is, you see things in the community that are bringing a lot of people in and a lot of visitors. This last weekend was the Chanhassen Winter Storm Basketball Classic, and you might ask yourself, why am I bringing up a Chanhassen basketball tournament? Because it's actually entirely played in the city of Chaska.
Pioneer Ridge.
Because they use the Chaska High School, so both my boys are at Chaska High School the whole weekend. They use Southwest Christian, and they end up using Carver. I guess they do technically use Carver and then Pioneer. Because interesting enough, the wrestling tournament takes place at Chanhassen High School. So that's why it doesn't happen at Chanhassen. But it's you get talent teams from all over that come in and are in the community and visiting and probably truthfully left the high schools less frequently because it was so cold and once you were in you didn't want to leave. But it's just good to see and how the city shows out, the school shows out. And it's kind of a good piece. So that was the one I had on top of my head. Lots of good things. I will say personally, I will steal somebody's thunder, I'm sure, from up here and talk about the Santa Parade. That's the benefit of being asked to go first. I get to use it. So
Go for it.
the biggest thing is I haven't seen the weather forecast. I actually think it's
Nice.
It's nice,
pretty
Supposed to
40
be great.
degrees.
I think it's supposed to be like 40.
Get your
right?
lawn chairs and flip-flops.
Yeah, there you go.
It's the Maui Santa Parade.
I'm really hoping the snow doesn't all completely disappear because I'm home
It's not
next.
going
Not
to.
going
I'm home next weekend with my kids on I was gonna say spring break, on winter break, and it is a blessing when you can say, just go outside and play in the snow, please. Like, get off the screen for a
Especially if
little
you're
bit.
trying to work.
Yeah, get off the screen. So, but the Santa Parade, great weather. It is published on the website. You can find the route, and also follow. They do kind of update that as they go.
Santa Tracker, yep.
So that's great. It's so as a fellow council member pointed out, it's reversing this year.
It's a
So
different direction.
if you're used to it being late, it's going to be early for you this year. So don't go out the time you went last time because you probably have already missed it, or you're. I guess you
Or
don't.
you're really,
Or you're really early, I guess.
one of the two.
Yeah. So.
No, I think you'll miss it. Or be really early,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, yeah, I think it's cool. I just think it's a fun event because it was simply kind of born out of idea of like, how do we get people together in COVID? And really, and it's fun, again, you look back on that time and there's not much great that came out of it, but there's some things that have stuck around that have been really good. And again, I just think it's been, a fun event and people still get excited about it. And so encourage you to check out the calendar and the map of when they'll hit your neighborhood. And I guess get your lawn chairs and flip-flops ready and bring your sunscreen too, so all good, so. And that's what I have for tonight.
Wonderful report. All right, Councilmember Shevlin.
I was only gonna add two things, so, for those that are interested in plays and all that, St. Hubert's just put on their performance of The Wizard of Oz, because Wicked has been so popular. At St.
When I was at
That's
St.
funny.
Hubert's, I was one of the Munchkin
It was
kids.
absolutely adorable. They did a great job, and I really hope people go support it this weekend again, because it was a fantastic show, and all those little kids, you know, they put a lot of effort into it. So it is K-8, remember the audience, the actor's age, but it was very well done and fun to see on the heels of all the Wicked phenomenon. And then I was also just gonna tell everybody, since winter break is coming, to watch out for all the kids that are not in school and probably be out on sledding hills or ice skates or all the other things that go on, and make sure you're driving and behaving accordingly on the roads for all of them.
Yeah.
Well, I think speaking of ice skating rinks, it's been a long time since I remember saying we'll have ice skating rinks ready for Christmas break, but I think we will.
Oh, wow.
It's
Which
supposed to
is
be pretty warm this week, though.
this week, but then next week it gets back to more normal temperatures, so not super cold, but cold enough for us to do the rinks. So I actually think we'll be in a pretty good position for break. So.
And I guess I had a question on that, just, are lakes frozen enough for people to be walking on them? Should we be?
I mean, I've heard mixed results. I wouldn't.
I think it's.
I know
best
some
to-
people that
I-
would,
I
but
was just gonna say, I think it's best to contact like the marina or the place that's kind of watches
yeah,
that sort
it
of
really
thing, too.
depends on the lake itself.
Yeah.
I just saw people out on, is it Grace, or it's this side, the south side of Target, but I saw people out on it the other day, and I was concerned that maybe it's not quite frozen enough, but.
Yeah, I mean, it's been cold, so there definitely has been ice being made, but it really depends on the lake, if it's spring-fed, all kinds of different factors,
So
but.
be careful if you're using ice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
A lot of moving water in Lake Grace.
yes.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
that's
because
very
it's, I
true.
mean,
The culvert that drains that one makes the water, I used to live right by there, the water runs a lot, I don't know how solid
Yeah,
it
I was worried about
freezes.
the people I
Yeah.
saw out there, because they were kids, and not necessarily do they know to watch for, like, here listening for cracks and all that, so just be cautious if you're also on break and out on ice.
just use one of our ice skating rinks, so you don't have to
There you
worry
go.
about it.
Yeah,
I
I
like it.
agree.
I like it.
Yeah. All right, thank you.
Yeah.
All right, Councilmember Hatfield.
Yeah, a few things. The first, just want to mention the plaza designs that we saw at our last meeting were presented to the Downtown Business Alliance on Friday morning, and I think there was good feedback. I think some similar feedback to what we had, and, you know, they kind of were just, you could tell they were wrapping their minds around how they could use it and the space. One feedback they had was just art and incorporating art. And so we did talk about kind of how we had mentioned something similar and maybe using the back of the history wall, or building, and what that could look like. So just wanted to share that it was well received, and I think there was good feedback. So that was the big thing coming out of that meeting that I wanted to share. Some other things, Coffee with a Cop is this Wednesday at the North McDonald's up by like Starbucks and Kohl's and that area. So that's on Wednesday at 10:30. And then coming up in January, the events will kind of kick off again with more. So the Health and Wellness Expo, which is always really well done with the Chamber and our Park and Recs department, is on January 10th at the Community Center at 9 a.m. And so that's always a good event to mark your calendar for. The MLK breakfast is on the 19th of January, in the morning right away, and it's always freezing cold. So just be excited for that.
Looks like a really good speaker this year.
Yes, it does look like a
Yeah,
good speaker.
and it's at the event center.
It's at the event center, yep, as always, so I think it's always been there at least.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the speaker is, I'm probably gonna say it wrong, Ethelind Kaba.
That's right.
Did I say it right?
Right.
Okay, I thought I'd heard it that way, but, she's executive director of the Ann Bancroft Foundation, whose purpose is supporting Girl Today, strengthens our community now and into the future, so. That, sounds like it's always a good event, like I always leave feeling like really warm and fuzzy about our community, so.
Yeah.
that's coming up. And then the fishing contest is on Valentine's Day, so you can, you know, make it a couples event and go down and do some ice
Oh, yeah,
fishing.
my wife would love that.
I bet you would.
And maybe it'll actually be ice fishing this year.
Yeah, maybe there will.
exactly.
We're,
Based
fingers
on-
crossed.
Maybe there's another puzzle event too.
I think there is another puzzle event in February.
Oh, I was very humbled by the wine.
I think we'll be taking a break from puzzling potentially, but,
Oh, no, should we go, we should be practicing, I suppose.
but we definitely shouldn't tell people if we do.
Yeah.
And then, so I think that's pretty much it. So then the other thing is just want to wish everyone, I'm going to probably miss some holidays, but I'm going to try my best. Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, and Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Whatever you're celebrating. There's other holidays in there, but those are the big ones. And yeah, happy all of those things. I'm proud we live in a community and a country that we can celebrate all of those things in different religions, and especially proud of our community that we can celebrate all those religions alongside each other, and do it safely. And definitely thoughts and prayers are with some people who didn't get to celebrate those things safely. So I'm grateful that in our community we've been insulated from those things, but that we can sit up here and say, Mary, all of those things, and feel safe doing that. So
Really well said. Thank you.
that's it.
All right, that was wonderful. All right, Elise?
Update.
All right, Krista? No?
I was waiting for something from Krista.
Gentleman in the back over there?
What is that, a click? What's happening back there?
Nothing?
Christian, nothing? Matt?
I do have one thing. You'll notice in the report, I did put a couple of options for retreat.
Yeah,
They may not work, but I gotta start with something.
Yeah.
So if you guys could just shoot me an email or a text or whatever, and just let me know if that does or does not work for you. It'd be nice to know if both of them work for you, or both of them don't, or whatever. If they don't, we'll find something else, but I just wanted to at least throw something out to start that whole process. So,
Cool.
sometimes that's the hardest part of a retreat,
getting the dates.
is getting the date.
I'm excited though to have it
But
at
it
the
is
public safety.
always-
Yeah, it'll be fun.
I'm like
Yep.
psyched.
There? Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't realize
Yeah.
that was, I thought it was a joke.
Oh, no, we'll have it.
I
Oh, no.
really did. I thought it was a joke when we were
No,
there.
no.
Oh,
our
no,
plan
we're
is
gonna
that
have it in
building
there.
is- It's
Okay.
gonna,
Yeah.
We're gonna get our money's worth out of that building.
have to
That's
bring
awesome.
our own lawn chairs at this point, but it's gonna be, no, it's
Oh,
kidding.
no.
All those chairs from the event center.
Lame.
When is the technical opening of the public safety? Is it before our next meeting?
Well, there's a number of different things that'll happen. We'll probably, technically, we'll probably get our temporary CO, right around the first of the year.
Oh, okay.
We won't start moving in, my guess is until the end of January, cause that's when some of the furniture will start arriving.
That's why I said lawn chairs.
Yep, so, I would say by the end of February, you'll see that we're pretty much moved in.
Yeah.
So,
Are we gonna tour it at the finished project as a council?
absolutely, yep,
Exciting.
yeah,
Wonderful.
that's all I have.
Well, that was a really great segue into, I guess, I was just up at the facility. I was able to meet with Senator Coleman and tour with our fire chief and also Officer Personius. And Elise was there, and so got to kind of get another refresh update as far as the building goes. And it's come a long way since we were able to kind of walk through it. And there's still some route to go as far as finishing touches and whatnot in certain areas. But it's really great to see that vision kind of continue to come to life, and just to see all of the care and consideration. I was telling Elise and Stephen this out in the parking lot kind of afterwards, that just so much thought was involved in just all the small details that you can really tell that we engage together, like police and fire and admin, in order to kind of make everything really shine and be accounted for, even in, the fire side, the dormitory dorms, the lighting, like when they have a call, it will be softer, so like they're not jarred away, because, the cardiac considerations with that, and those, those are all things that if you're not working in that field, you just don't really think about that, but they're very important, and they're important to the well-being and safety, the people that are gonna be working in these spaces, and I think that that's just been such a great thing to see, so thank you to, staff for really kind of continually walking through this building and making sure that it's gonna be a great representation for our community pride, but also that our departments that are gonna be in there are gonna be really, really well cared for, so. So great.
Well, there's been some real detail, every Thursday for 2 years, get together on the Thursday mornings, and, you have the people Elise has been the glue, you have Jamie and Chris in the police department that have done, been right at the table, along with, Zach and Steven at the table. Everybody has worked together on this, and that's what's cool to see is that everybody's sort of been looking out for each other's, to make sure that things work well together. So it actually set a really good model when we moved into the municipal service building process, is we're just like, hey, that worked really good. Let's use this same process for this, so.
Yeah.
Well, and it was interesting, just a little side note, but St. Hubert's had their Advent Christmas program. And I think you guys all know Ryan's little son Jack is in the same class as my Grace. So the way they do this, you can't go into the church until the doors open, and it's like a mad rush for seats. So everybody stands outside at 5:30 waiting to get into the doors. And Ryan's mother happened to be standing behind me in line waiting at the doors for 20 minutes to get in. And she started talking, she didn't know who I was, but started talking because Grace and Jack were talking about her son being a policeman and how excited he was for the new building. And I introduced myself and said that I was on the council. And she said it has been just night and day difference with how he talks about work, how he's talking about recruiting, how he's talking about what they're going to be able to do. And she was so excited. And then there were other people, because there's a lot of Chaska folks that have their kids there, that were entering in. And I was expecting it to be kind of a negative conversation, because if you look at Facebook pages and things, you sometimes get a negative feel. Everybody was so excited about it, and the fact that some of them didn't know duty crews would be there for fire, some of them didn't know that it had better evidence lockup, but they were so excited about what this was going to bring to the city and what a, basically lift it was for the police department. So to hear the community talk like that was, wonderful, and then to hear that the chief was actually saying really good things too. He wasn't there to defend himself, so his mom did all the talking, but it was great.
It's like, thanks, Mom.
Yeah, exactly. But it was really lovely to see and hear people being so excited about something that maybe was highly questionable.
Yeah, I think sometimes when you enter certain spaces, you can kind of feel like everyone feels the same way, but when you really pull the community at large, you find that sometimes those voices aren't always the majority voices or the.
People, because there's also a lot of, and it's in Chan, were saying they wish Chanhassen would have a department similar to this now because it's getting so big, and it was just like a beacon to work towards rather than they're just spending money. So I was very happy to see that.
Yeah, and I think as we open the doors up to the new facility and the public is able to kind of come in and see everything, I think that community pride
It's just going to be cool.
will be, really well received. So, no, it's great. So, yeah, I just wanted to touch point that, and then I just have some other things. Just recapping Heroes and Helpers that the Chaska PD puts on, along with support from, Bountiful Basket, Chaska Lions, Chaska Rotary, Latino Voices. I think Chaska Heights Senior Living was a part of it this year. Target. I'm probably forgetting some folks, but there were so many people that kind of engaged on that. Really great. Almost 70 kids participated.
Wow.
It's the largest. Almost $8,000 worth of gifts, kind of went through the checkout line. They kind of crashed the register system at Target on that lane.
That's great news.
And sadly, the person was like, it's okay, we'll be able to do this, and then, scan out and then run it in, and then something failed, and was in the back, entering every barcode in by hand to redo it or whatever. But, just really, really great. Bountiful Basket, along with the Lions, were able to gift a meal to the family this year, which was something new, and so that was really, really well received. And Gracia from Latino Voices came up and, just, that they work really heavily with our community in times of people that are in need, but when you see Gracia in tears because, the kids requested sheets and household products because, their family situation, and that was what the kids asked for Christmas. Those were very humbling times, and so it's a reminder of the why of what we do to build community and how we can give back and help. So it's joyous to be a part and see the excitement on the kids' faces as they shop for their siblings, and then even for themselves, because they get a gift as a part of it themselves. And if there's multiple siblings, then obviously kind of the love is kind of shared around. And so I just love it. It's my favorite thing to be a part of. I'm always really grateful for our Chaska Police Department to take the reins on this, and for Officer Martine to be that facilitator. And so it's just so great. So just wanted to point that out. And then kind of also recapping that we had our hometown holiday event downtown last weekend. They had the tree lighting, or not tree lighting. I knew I was gonna mess up the gazebo. We had the gazebo lighting. We're starting a new tradition. And if you haven't been down to City Square Park, you need to go because it looks amazing. And everyone's telling me how much it feels like Gilmore Girls, Star Hollow, and all that sort of stuff. And it's like, yeah,
It's beautiful.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So.
And the paseos are so cute.
So,
Just do
I know
like a
you
full
guys watch
360.
Gilmore Girls
I
over
was-
there.
Yeah, sure.
Let me Google that here real
Just
quick.
take our word for it. Yes, the gazebo looks amazing. It's just such a great focal point for our community. So it's very, very nicely done. And it was a really fun event, really well attended, lots of good reviews. The History Center being, the volunteers being kind of on the little horse-drawn carriage rides. And just even in like one little section, that the carriage ride goes around, how much history that is in downtown Chaska, just in one tiny little area. People are always really blown away, especially people that live in the community and they just are not aware of the history, but people that don't live in the community that come solely. And to hear that, our carriage rides are a huge draw, and I heard that they were actually in a neighboring community earlier that day, and like nobody showed up for it practically. And so it's nice to see that event shine for our downtown and for our businesses that help kind of make that happen. So
They counted, and it was 484 people went on those carriages and learned
Wow.
about Chaska history.
more than the 4 I heard.
Yeah.
Neighboring
Well, it was really
community.
cold last weekend, so that's a
Yeah,
good turnout.
484
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
on a cold day like that took
Yeah.
those carriage rides and got to hear
great.
more about history. And then I think they had like a record number of people come into the History Center too. I didn't write that number down. but-
Yeah, I can't remember
Yeah.
what she had said, but yeah, you're right. It was quite a few, and so that is always really, really a great event, and I'm glad to see it continue to keep growing every year. So, are commission applications open still? Okay, that's closed, so never mind. I was gonna ask that question before the meeting.
Interviews are on the
Inter-
5th, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see, and then just recapping, I was able to spend time yesterday talking to to the Scouts troop about, being an elected leader, what that takes, like terms and things along those lines, and how city is a little different from county and state and, federal. And then also able to give interviews to the 5th graders for academias, business towns, so that was really fun. And then I just before the meeting met with some students from Southwest Christian over a DECA project that they were having. It ended up being a part of a video that was kind of sprung on me last minute, but that works, and it was really fun. So it's just fun to be supportive of the area schools and organizations that kind of are earning badges or trying to do projects and things like that in the community. So. Our next meeting, well, we have an EDA meeting following this, but then our next meeting is on January 5th, which is next year. And so with that, I just also would like to echo Councilmember Hatfield's thought of just, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Hanukkah. There's so many different celebrations and people that celebrate different things in our community, and just wishing everyone joy of the season, so.
Love it.
All right, with that, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
All right, we have a motion from Councilmember Shevlin
Second.
and a second from Councilmember Hatfield. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting adjourned. Okay. I'm assuming, Krista, we're able to go right into the next meeting?
We are ready.
All right, so I
See you
call.
next year.
Yeah, see you next year,
Merry
Krista.
Christmas, Krista.
See you next year.
Where are you going?
That's at you, Matt Clark.
You're not out of the woods yet.
You're done.
There's a. Yeah, EDA.
That's all right. All right. Yeah, you too. All right, so I call this meeting of the Chaska Economic Development Authority to order for Monday, December 15th. Do I need to give a timestamp? 8:18? Okay. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Hatfield,
Here.
Commissioner Benish, Commissioner Shevlin.
Here.
Commissioner Gra,
Here.
President Hubbard.
Here. All right, next is the adoption of the agenda.
Motion to adopt agenda.
Great.
Second?
Second, so a motion from Councilmember Hatfield and a second from Councilmember Shevlin. Sorry, you kind of messed me up with all that. Any other discussion? Otherwise, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Okay, agenda is adopted. Let's move along to previous meeting minutes. We actually have two sets of minutes for approval here. One's from October 20th, 2025, and the other one's from November 17th, 2025. Does anybody have any additions or corrections to said minutes? Either? Otherwise, I'd entertain a motion for approval.
Motion to approve minutes from 10/20/2025 and 11/17/2025.
Awesome.
Second.
All right, we have a motion from Commissioner Shevlin and a second from Commissioner Gra. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, that passes as well. And then that moves us along to, we have two discussion items on the agenda. One is 5A, Memorandum of Understanding with Trident Development LLC for City Square West project.
Madam President and Commissioners, the item in front of you tonight is the exact same item you saw on the City Council meeting, but this is a letter of intent that's three-way between the EDA, because we will have like tax increment and other economic development tools going into this, the city, and then Trident Development. So this would be approving sort of that third leg of that agreement, but it's the exact same agreement that was in the council.
Okay, does anybody have any questions for Matt at all? I know this is something that we just talked about an hour ago, half hour ago, so,
right.
go ahead.
I'm sorry. I was
No,
gonna make
go
a
for it. Yep.
Motion to approve the memorandum of understanding with Trident Development and City of Chaska and authorize the president and executive director to execute the MOU.
Okay, so we have a motion from Commissioner Hatfield
Second.
and a second from Commissioner Gra. Any other discussion? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, that carries, and that moves us along to 5B, adopt EDA resolution number 2025-92, adopting the 2026 EDA budget and EDA property tax levy for payable 2026.
So Madam President, Commissioners, the item in front of you tonight, you will see that from a tax levy perspective, we use the same policies we do with the city, but the building program is not part of the EDA, and so we really only look at cost of living and new growth in the community. So that's where we come up with that 7.7% increase, which brings it from about $231,000 up to about $249,000 for the year. The overall budget itself is $784,811. And that really includes all of the, economic development activity that we have, throughout the year from an operational standpoint. We also have like TIF funds and things like that that are separate, but this is really just the operations of the EDA It includes our economic development coordinator, part of Elisa's salary, part of my salary, because we deal with economic development activities. But it's a relatively small budget in comparison to the rest of them. So staff is recommending approval of both the tax levy and the budget. There is resolution 25-92 that would adopt both of those.
Motion to adopt EDA resolution number 2592.
All right, so we have a motion from Commissioner Shevlin,
Second.
a second from Commissioner Hatfield. Any discussion? Like, as previously mentioned, that was something that we just went over in the council meeting, so. All right, with that, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, motion carries. All right, that moves us along to other business, I believe. Buried my own agenda. And so, does anybody have any EDA business? I think the only thing is just thinking the work with the property sale from Klein Bank.
Yeah.
I just,
Yeah.
don't know. I didn't mention it obviously during the other business, but thank you. I mean, that's gonna help big time for redevelopment of that, that site, kind of straightening everything out, so it's
Yep,
great.
and we have a couple of developers that are interested that we're talking to, so, our hope is that sort of spurs redevelopment of that area, so.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the community at large kind of feels like it's time, and we share that sentiment as well, so.
Agreed.
Awesome, all right, that's the only
I
thing
don't think this is economic authority, but I did have a question. Did we ever hear on the Southwest Transit budget for next year, like if Metro Council was gonna keep Southwest Transit going, or? I guess.
Oh,
I
yeah,
haven't
we're
heard.
still in the game.
Okay, all right.
Good question, good question.
Thanks, Noel.
Yeah, thank you, Noel.
Aye.
All right, well, if there's not any other business, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
All right, we have a motion from Commissioner Hatfield,
Second.
and a second from Commissioner Shevlin. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
I suppose I should go pick my son up now for